UFC Fight Night JDM versus Perth just wrapped up, and CP just slimed out JDM. Uh, so let's talk about this whole card. I've been up since 10:46 a.m. right now. I've been up since 3:30. I know how it feels to be a Australian MMA fan now, and I apologize. My mic is like very quiet right now. There are still people in my house that are sleeping right now. So let's just get right into this. Talk about the main event. Um, this was like complete domination by Carlos Prates. In the beginning of the fight, I thought JDM was just like being smart with it. Uh, oh, he's feinting, he's setting things up, but it turns out he just wasn't ready for what Carlos Prates was about to do. Um, and Yeah, I mean, there was just no answer from JDM to anything that Carlos Prates did. Uh, and I think in like the second round, if I remember correctly, JDM had like 40 significant strikes, maybe like close to 50, and JDM, or yeah, Carlos Prates had like 40, JDM had like 20, not even. So it was just Prates was just kept moving forward. Towards the end of each round, at the beginning of each round, he was actually on the back foot. But the first round wasn't like complete domination by Carlos Prates. It was more like, oh yeah, he's popping the jab like 1-2, and JDM was still working on setting things up. But once the second round came around, it was just like complete domination in that round. And then in the third round, it was just like sad. Prates was knocking down JDM with the leg kicks. And the final one is what basically caused the TKO to happen. Because JDM just literally couldn't get up from the uh, knockdown that he just suffered from his legs. And he was getting caught with so many knees and elbows. Carlos Prates was literally grabbing and holding on to JDM's hand so he could get the elbow and the knees in. Uh, it was just like not a fun time to be a JDM fan. I love both these guys, so I was gonna be like happy and sad at the same time either way. But it was just like disheartening to see JDM lose like this. Obviously, as you can see, he was better on the takedowns. Uh, but even when JDM was able to get a takedown, Prates, like he wouldn't be able to stop them. He stopped three of them, but he would just get up. Like none of JDM's takedowns actually went anywhere besides the fact that I think the first round ended with JDM on top, but uh, Prates still won that round with strikes. This was just a masterclass from Carlos Prates, and it seems relatively obvious about who he needs to fight next, but I do want to make a matchmaking video for the major fights on this card, so I'm gonna save my opinions on that for that video. But overall, feel terrible for Jack. Uh, it it was just a disheartening performance to watch. I do think he can come back stronger, but I thought after the Islam fight, he would just come in there and not dominate easily like Carlos Prates, but like come back and with like a convincing win. But Prates just proved everyone, well, not everyone, some people did choose Prates, but the overwhelming majority, at least of what I saw, was JDM. But yeah, bedtime MMA is in shambles right now. Um, Lucas Tracy's disappeared, and Guru also in shambles after this main event. So yeah, but a great performance from Carlos Prates. I hope JDM can come back stronger, but it's the main event. Mate, Quillan Salkilld. Oh, fuck, my bad. Edit that out. Mate, Quillan Salkilld. I had Quillan winning by first round TKO. Got this on the dot. Um, when the promotional material right before this fight was playing, I was kind of like, yo, maybe maybe Beneil Dariush isn't washed. Like maybe he's just gonna like come and wipe the floor with Quillan Salkilld and just piss everyone off. But that wasn't the case. It kind of looked like it at the beginning of the fight. Like when Beneil Dariush came out, just started grappling immediately. I was like, oh shit, like this guy's Benny D is kind of back. Like what's happening here? But no. Quillan just once he got out of the clinch with Beneil, he just let loose, and within a minute of their striking exchange starting, Quillan just got an elite knockdown on Beneil, and like he threw his hands up right there. I was like, all right, I already won. Then got the TKO. Um, Great performance out of Quillan Salkilld. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is his grappling now that he's gonna be in the top 15. Because you saw some of his grappling when he was a unranked prospect, but he was doing a great job of um like staving off takedowns and like staying in the clinch, and he was able to get out of it. But Beneil was kind of able to hold him there in the clinch for a few minutes, and that has me a little worried for the higher level grapplers in lightweight. But I do think that Quillan Salkilld has a bright future at lightweight, and I invested in this guy early on. His stock just keeps rising, keeps proving me right. So great performance out of Quillan Salkilld. He'll probably get another performance of the night bonus. Actually, no, it's gonna go to Carlos Prates now that I think about it. But if they're giving out another, Quillan probably deserves it. So yeah, great performance out of Quillan Salkilld. Beneil, probably time to hang it up. I'd say he'll probably do one more fight and win or lose. That'll probably be his last one. So yeah, Tim Elliott versus Steve Erceg. I was grabbing coffee when this fight was happening. Like it was in my house, but I just had the fight on my phone, and I kind of wasn't paying attention to the first round. But from what I heard, Erceg was looking sharp, but Tim Elliott's weird movements were working pretty well. But I was completely locked in for the second and third rounds. And man, Steve Erceg, like that is the title challenger that arguably beat Pantoja. I think Pantoja won, but a lot of people still think that Erceg won. That's the guy that like arguably won the title. He styled on Tim Elliott in the last two rounds of this fight. It was just like beautiful, dude. Um, and Tim Elliott was doing all kinds of weird shit with his fighting style, but yeah, once Steve Erceg kind of caught onto it and was able to counter it with his like normal boxing, he just did not hold back on Tim Elliott. Pretty much dominated the second and third rounds and secured like an elite victory. That's definitely gonna put him back in the title picture soon enough. Because it's been a uh, rough like year and a half, nearly 2 years. Like with Steve Erceg after actually I'm pretty sure we're about to come up on the 2 year anniversary of 301. Uh, so it's been a rough like 2 years since that card, but it looks like we're finally on the up and up with Steve Erceg. Great performance. Tim Elliott actually looked like not bad in the first round from the moments that I saw of it, but he is 39 years old. Uh, his movements are still fast, so he can still be there in flyweight, and he did, if I remember correctly, submit Kai Asakura at 319. So he could still be there, but it's definitely looking like Tim Elliott's getting to that point where he's starting to be washed up. But great performance out of Steve Erceg. Next fight, Marwan Rahiki versus Ali Schmid. um, Marwan Rahiki is really fast, and Ali Schmid just didn't have an answer to it. Rahiki was just running around, and his kicks were so fast, coming from every direction, and and I don't think his TKO came from a kick. I was like, not gonna lie, I was like half asleep watching this one. There were moments during this card where I was fully just out, and like taking power naps between fights, and I missed a sizable chunk of the prelims because I fell asleep like while sitting up on my couch while watching this card. Um, but yeah, Rahiki just landed a nice combo, knocked down Ali Schmid, and TKO'd him. Uh, this guy's a pretty sick featherweight prospect. Um, I'm really excited to see what he does really fast. Um, but yeah, there's not much to say about this fight. Ali Schmid is like I guess 4-2 now. That's like a very small record for the UFC, especially in uh, the current like state of MMA. That's a very low record, and I haven't, if I remember correctly, I haven't seen an Ali Schmid fight before. I don't know. This definitely wasn't his debut because it was too high up on the card. But I gotta look into him and how we got to the UFC so early. But yeah, nice knockout from Marwan Rahiki. And we'll see what's next for Ali Schmid. But it says New Zealand right here. I'm pretty sure he was representing Hungary on this card, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Shamil the Mill loses to Brando Pericic by round two TKO. The Meal was eating strikes. I actually don't know how he did it, dude. Whatever, there's like armor in his blubber that allows him to eat these strikes. Um, but Brando Pericic, he's looking good at heavyweight, dude. I'm excited to see where he goes. Uh, and I think the Meal is gonna is just gonna have to stay in like that top 15. Maybe he gets the top 10 at some point, but he'll go right back to the 15. He's going to stay ranked in heavyweight, but I don't think he's going to go too far. With that build that you see on the screen, he's just not ready for that, the higher level of heavyweight, but he can definitely stay as like a blob, you know, 13 ranked, like 15 to 12, like in that range. I could see him being a career gatekeeper blob at heavyweight. But yeah, I mean he can take some strikes, man. Breno Pericic, great performance. Excited to see him at heavyweight. I feel like I'm saying that for so many fighters on this card. Um, so yeah, another great fight. Tai Tuivasa versus Louis Sutherland, incredibly boring fight. Um, the Vanilla Gorilla just laid on top of Tai Tuivasa and landed pillow strikes. uh, for 15 minutes straight. There were times where there's some action where they'd be like going at it for a second, but then Louis Sutherland would just land another takedown, and that would be it for the round. Um, I don't think Tai Tuivasa is still ranked. Uh, if he is, we got to change that because he'll leave the rankings and then randomly pop back in at like the number 15 spot. I don't think he was ranked for this card, but at what point do you cut Tai Tuivasa? Because he's like kind of a fan favorite, I'll give him one more fight. I mean, I think he should probably be cut now, but potentially you get one more fight, and if you lose that, you're just out. Because I saw him like make another post. Like I swear I saw this exact one back in January when he fought. It was like, oh, I'm putting on an accent for it. My bad. Like, uh, this sport is a bitch. Thank you to my team and my fans. I love you all. I'll be back. He's been saying that a lot in the last couple years. Um, but yeah, super boring fight. Louis Sutherland is still probably not that good, but he was able to beat Tai Tuivasa. He'll get a ranked opponent after this. He uh, he has a ridiculous build. Um, so we'll see what's next for him. I've been saying like I'm excited to see what these fighters do next. I'm not excited to see what Louis Sutherland does next. He's just another blob at heavyweight. Um, so yeah, that was a pretty boring fight. Cam Rouston versus Robert Brycek. This was a decision, but it was actually pretty entertaining because Cam Rouston is very good. He controlled this fight on the feet, and every time it went to the ground, because of his like big frame, he was able to just uh sit in Brycek's guard and still be fine. Like he could be sitting in full guard and it wouldn't really phase him. He was still able to land strikes. And as you can see, he outstruck Robert Brycek significantly. Um, but yeah, Cam Rossi can land takedowns. He's got sort of an Izzy style. I mean, he trains at City Kickboxing, so it's not too surprising. And a similar like Izzy frame, almost a little bit lankier. But the one thing I am worried about as he continues to rise up through middleweight is his like leaving his chin open. He did that the entire fight, and Robert Brycek, he would just kind of go for the body, even though Cam Raston's chin was just open. And Robert Brycek, he can hit hard, and you could tell in his body shots, even though Raston really wasn't phased too hard by that. Like you could tell there is like power in Brycek's punches, but he just refused to not go to the body. Like he stuck there, even though Raston had his chin out practically the entire fight. So it's just something to consider as we continue watching Cam Raston. If he gets matched up with a sniper at middleweight, there is a chance that he gets caught, but he definitely is durable because, as I said, Brycek was landing really hard body punches, and Rouston really didn't seem phased by it. So yeah, great performance by Cam Raston. Don't really know what to do with Brycek. I'll figure that out. I believe this was the headliner of the prelims. Okay, no, it wasn't. Cam Raston was a featured prelim. Junior Tafa knocks out Kevin Christian in round one. I woke up from my prelim slumber right as this fight was ending, so I haven't watched. I'm not gonna lie, and no, I watched the Cody Steele fight, and then I just completely Uh, fell asleep until the end of this fight. So I guess this is where towards the end of my video. Um, but yeah, seeing a Tafa brother win a fight in the year of our Lord 2026, um, pretty crazy. But I'm pretty sure Junior Tafa called out Zhang Mingyang, however you say his name. Uh, even though he's booked for Macau, which I'm pretty sure is in like a few weeks, so he has no idea what's going on. Even when he wins a fight impressively, Junior Tafa has a way of looking like a clown. Um, so maybe potentially a winnable fight though for Junior Tafa. I'm pretty sure Ming Yang is a top 10 light heavyweight. So I don't think they would give him that fight, even if Ming Yang takes no damage after his fight in Macau. So yeah, great performance out of Junior Tafa. Uh, and I guess I'll skip all of these. I failed my goat, Gerald Mearshart III, um, by not watching his fight. Uh, probably why he lost to Jacob Malcolm. Is that unanimous decision, dude? GM3's got to hang it up. I don't know what to do with him. So I guess we'll skip all of these. And Don Marfan versus Cody Steele. I picked Cody Steele to win because Don Marfan, I saw his fight. I saw him win Road to UFC on UFC 3 25 back in January, and it was impressive. But uh, Road to UFC guys are toss ups on how good they'll be once they're actually fighting in the UFC. And I think Cody Steele was a Road to UFC guy if I remember correctly, but he's actually had fights. Dom Marfan hasn't. So in general, unless a guy that's actually been in the UFC is just that bad, I'm gonna pick him against a Road to UFC winner that has his real debut now. Uh, yeah, he gets submitted in the first round, gets outstruck, gets taken down. It's not like Cody Steele's strikes were that uh, crazy. He had one, both of them had one significant strike, which is pretty funny. Um, but yeah, Don Marfan is dominated, and Cody Steele wins by submission. Uh, I apologize, but I did fall asleep right after watching Cody Steele, and I fell asleep for the Mikhailov Themagarimbo fight, the Johnston Schultz fight, the Thickness Morales fight, and the Malkoon Gerald Mearshart the third fight. Um, I do apologize for that. I have never actually woken up for like an early card in my life. Like when they've gone to Macau, I've just watched it later in the day. This is my first time getting up for a like this early of a card, so just wasn't ready for it. I'll make sure I clean that act up for Macau. But that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you boys in the next video.